Welcome to Echo 101, Study Session 6, The Production Process. Introduction. In this study session, you will analyze the supply side of economic system. Business firms purchase inputs to produce and sell outputs. In other words, they demand factors of production in input markets and supply goods and services in output markets. Hence, production will be central to this study session. Learning outcomes. When you have studied this session, you should be able to 1. Analyze output determination process of firms. 2. Relate different output concepts to each other. Supply decision. The decisions on how much to produce, how to produce it, and what inputs to demand are made by firms. If a firm decides that it wants to double or triple its output, it may need time to arrange financing, hire architects and contractors, and build a new plan. Planning for a major expansion can take years. In the meantime, the firm must decide how much to produce within the constraint of its existing plant. If a firm decides to get out of a particular business, it may take time to arrange an orderly exit. There may be contract obligations to fulfill, equipment to sell, and so forth. Once again, the firm must decide what to do in the meantime. A firm's immediate response to a change in the economic environment may differ from its response over time. However, because of the character of immediate response that differs from long-run adjustment, it is useful to define two time periods, the short run and the long run. Two assumptions define the short run. First, a fixed scale, and secondly, no entry into or exit from the industry. The short run is defined as that period during which existing firms have some fixed factors of production, that is, during which time some factors are locked into the current scale of operations. In other words, the short run is the period of time for which two conditions hold. The firm is operating under a fixed scale of production, and firms can neither enter or exit an industry. Also, new firms cannot enter, and exiting firms cannot exit an industry in the short run. Firms may curtail operations, but they are still locked into some cost, even though they may be in the process of going out of business. In the long run, there are no fixed factors of production. Firms can plan for any output level they find desirable. They can double or triple output. For example, in addition, new firms can start up operations and existing firms can go out of business. Thus, in the course of making economic decisions, firms need to know three things. 1. The market price of output. 2. The available techniques of production. And 3. The prices of input. With cost determined and the market price of output known, a firm will make a final judgment about the quantity of output to produce and the quantity of each input to demand. Production technology. This relates from input to output. Specific quantities of inputs are needed to produce any given service or good. Most output can be produced by a number of different techniques. We can pull down an old building and clear a lot to create a park in several ways. For example, 500 men and women could descend on it with sledgehammers and carry the pieces away by hand. This will be a labor-intensive technology. The same pack could be produced by two people with a wrecking crane, a steam shovel, a backhoe, and a dump truck. This will be capital-intensive technology. In choosing the most appropriate technology, firms choose the one that minimizes the cost of production. For a firm in an economy with a plentiful supply of inexpensive labor but not much capital, the optimal method of production will involve labor-intensive techniques. For example, assembly of items like running shoes is done most efficiently by hand. That is the reason why Nike produces virtually all its shoes in developing economies where labor costs are very low. In contrast, firms in an economy with high wages and high labor costs have an incentive to substitute away from labor and to use more capital intensive or labor saving techniques. Choice of technology. Capital enhances the productivity of labor, and similarly, labor enhances the productivity of capital. However, inputs can be substituted for one another. That is, if labor becomes expensive, firms can adopt labor saving technologies by substituting capital for labor. If capital becomes relatively expensive, firms can substitute labor for capital. In short, most goods and services can be produced in a number of ways. Using alternative technologies, one of the key decisions that all firms must make is which technology to use. Thus, to make the choice on the production process, the firm must look into input markets to find out the current market prices of labor and capital. Production function. Production function shows the relationship between inputs and outputs. That is, production technology expressed mathematically. For example, the quantity of shoes produced is a function of capital and labor, and it can be said to be quantity supplied is a function of capital and labor, where QS is the amount of shoes produced, K is capital, such as machine, and L is labor, which represents man hours. Marginal product and the law of diminishing return. The marginal product is the additional output that can be produced by adding one more unit of a specific variable input, holding all other inputs constant. Column 2 in table 6.1 shows that the marginal product of the first unit of labor is 10. The marginal product of the second is 15. The third is 10, and so on. The marginal product of the sixth is worth 0. Thus, marginal product is the additional output that can be produced by adding one more unit of a specific variable input to the fixed factors. The law of diminishing returns indicates a situation when additional units of a variable input are added to fixed input. After a certain point, the marginal product of the variable input declines. Diminishing returns or diminishing marginal product begins to show up when more and more units of a variable input are added to a fixed input, such as the scale of the plant. However, diminishing returns is always applicable in the short run, and in the short run, every firm will face diminishing returns. This means that every firm finds it progressively more difficult to increase its output as it approaches capacity production. Total product. This is the sum of all output or products produced with a given set of input. It is the total amount of products that are produced with a given set of production input at a particular period of time. From the table 4, it can be seen that the total product increased as more and more inputs are added to the production process until the last set of input is added, which yields no additional gain to total output. Average product. Average product is the average amount produced by each unit of a variable factor of production. State in equation form, the average product of labor is the total product divided by total units of labor. That is, average product equals total product divided by total unit of labor. Average product follows marginal product, but it does not decline as quickly as marginal product. If marginal product is above the average product, the product rises, and if marginal product is below, the average product average falls. Figure 6.1 shows a typical product in function and both the marginal and the average product that are derived from it. The marginal product curve is a graph of the slope of the total product curve. Average and marginal product start out equal. Figure 6.1 indicates that as the marginal product climbs, the graph of average product follows it, but more slowly up to point A. At point A, marginal product begins to fall because every firm has a finite capacity. Efforts to increase production will always run into the limits of that capacity. At point B, marginal product has fallen to equal average product, which has been increasing and got to its peak. Between points B and C, marginal product falls below average product and average product begins to follow it down. Average product is at its maximum at point B, where it is equal to marginal product. At point D, more labor yields no more output and marginal product is 0. Question: if average product is decreasing, the marginal product A must be greater than average product, B must be less than average product, C must be increasing, D cannot be decreasing. The correct option is B. When average product is decreasing, marginal product is decreasing and below average product. Summary: our analysis in this study session was on supply side of economic system. We presented output determination process of firms and related different output concepts such as total product and average product to each other. This is the end of study session 6. Thanks for listening.